Okay, here's a second tutorial in case, this is particularly good in case you haven't been able to do that you didn't go to the workshop or couldn't go to the workshop, which has to do with reality or whatever it is about. This is the Prudential Tower, not in Boston, but in Chicago. It's probably demolished. But I'm gonna show you a little technique that allows you to convert images or drawings into 3D models. It involves projection. It's quite cool. So we have this image, the Prudential Tower. What we'll do is that we will press the camera icon and we will add an image, this image that I showed you as the background. So you press the camera icon so we can look through the camera, and I'm going to go into the end menu, check on view and check camera to view, so like we did in the first classes, so that when I move the camera, this thing moves, the camera moves with me. Now the camera properties, once I have the camera selected, you can go into the green button here, and there is a setting that is not enabled by default, which is background images. So we press on background images and we will add an image, open an image, and I'll pick up that image that I downloaded. And as you can see, it looks awful. That is because the image stretches across the resolution of the rendered file. So I'll do the camera icon and make sure, the printing icon, and make sure that this is something like 1020 by something like probably 800, 700, something like that. So that it matches the image. If you want to do it really alright, what you should do is to check that image, press Command I, and check the actual size of the image. You can do that also in Photoshop. But eyeballing this is nice. Now, since the camera is set to view and stuff, I can have the cube, and now the cube is actually useful. I can have the cube and try to match it to this. So I'm matching it, like eyeballing it a bit. It's pretty, I would say, well, this is a camera thing, but it's pretty okay. I can go into, edit mode. If I press Command R, I can make a little division here. I'll get out of the camera, select this part, get back into the camera, push it here, do another subdivision here, get out of the camera, go back here, and it's not matching perfectly because the camera has a different perspective. So, but if I go back into object mode and I select the camera, I can change the focal length to something higher number. That way it's more square. And that should be a bit better. I'll turn on the wireframe. And that should be a bit better. Go back here, go back into edit mode, select that one, come back, push it that way. And just match it a bit. Yeah, okay. You could also just move the dots, although that will look a little bit weird afterwards, but it will be enough. I like that to use these postcards too, because they don't sort of realism is a bit overvalued now. Anyway, once we have this, I'll turn on this thing again. There is an other modifier that we can apply to this thing, which is called UV project modifier. So I select the object, I go into modifiers, and I do UV project, and I say that the object is the camera. And now I'll say that the texture, the material, I'll create a new material, and I'll say that the base color is an image, and that the image, it's already loaded, so I can do this, and as you can see, the image is sort of projected there. Not projected perfectly, because we need to add a thing to the modifier, which is to add subdivisions in simple subdivisions, and also to correct some of the aspect differences. It should be sort of okay, but if I do this, ideally this aspect thing is the same aspect that we had before, it's the same quality of the image. So it was, if I'm not mistaken, the image was here's the size, right? 1080 by 1600 is there. So if I select this and I go here, it should be 1080 by 1600, and that should match it. I will change the light so you can see it the other way. So now you have an object that is matched. The subdivisions thing is kind of important. If you have low subdivisions, it will project wrong. So try to keep it at 4, something like that. And I can apply the UV mapping, which means that now if I turn around, the object is like we have a sort of an extraction of the image. Some of the other things are projected, so it might look a bit weird, but this technique is very useful for things like, I don't know, arms, hand, lenses, etc. And now that it's also projected, you could also, if you want to, just go into sculpting, press Z, render it, and start messing with the file. So now it's Prudential, and now we turn it into like a more modern architecture kind of building. Which is pretty okay. You can do that with a lot of things. It's again a very useful technique, especially for backgrounds. Ta-da! You can even make letters. I'm gonna make the P of Prudential. Cool, we have some sort of alphabet. I hope you enjoy it.